this is Ruth from the blog Simply Sustainable Family, and we're going to go ahead and show you how we do rotational grazing with our cattle. It's a pretty simple process. The equipment isn't terribly expensive, so even on a small scale it still makes sense, and it really is pretty quick. It takes a few minutes a day, or if you do it in larger chunks you only have to do it every 2 or 3 days, so it just depends on what you guys have set up at your homestead. But yeah, we'll go ahead and show you that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is on the videos, the middle line fence that runs between the two sides of the field and divides it in half left to right, that portion we do the actual insulators with, because that's more of a permanent setup. We tend to move it once a year over a few feet just so that we can mow where the cows aren't able to graze underneath the fence, but otherwise that stays up all through the summer months without being moved. And then the portion where we grid off from that main fence, that we use the wire and just wrap, because we're moving that every day to every 2 or 3 days, so we don't want to go through the process of threading and rethreading the insulators. So I just wanted to explain that difference when you're watching the video. But other than that, let's get started. The cows all know that me walking out to the edge of the fence means that they're gonna get moved. So they're all standing here waiting very patiently with the look of, well, come on, stupid, why aren't you gonna open the fence? We're getting there, girls. We're getting there. Looking good this morning. Almost got the next section of fence set up. So close you can practically taste it. So when we're setting up temporary fence for sectioning off the pastures for rotational grazing, we have a length that runs right down the middle of a pasture piece. It divides it basically right to left. And then from that wire, we can section off and do basically a grid pattern. So we use a handle as weight and basically just wrap the poly wire a couple of times around it so that it's electrified, and then bring it out across from there. And every 15 to 20 feet, we stick a fiberglass temporary post into the ground, and you don't have to drive these in or anything else. You just stick them in by hand and then wrap the poly wire around it and keep on trucking with your reel. And then same thing, just connect to the fence at the other end, and you'll have a calf that scoots underneath it every once in a while to get a little bite of grass on the other side, but the older cows will respect it and leave it alone, and pretty quick and easy. You can usually rotate a pasture piece in 15 or 20 minutes at most each day.
So they're pretty simple. Most of them come in a plastic bag. The insulator comes in 2 pieces. You just put them together. There's little tiny bumps on the inside, and if you put that on the inside where the post will be, and that will actually dog into the post to keep it from unspinning. The kicker is getting it thread back on and starting it off. Let me get it to the right spot. Slide it over. Drop it onto the wire. So it slides on, threads on tight. You can hear it clicking past those little bumps. And one more for good measure. And that should, once I move it where she needs to be good to go for the summer. And she'll pull tight. So it's pretty simple little insulator setups, but they just break. Welcome to anything made out of plastic. They'll fatigue out and break eventually, but they're cheap and they work.
The insulators also slide easily down the fiberglass post so that you can ride a four-wheeler over the top of the wire and be able to get between pastures. Nothing that says happy quite so well as a cow on fresh grass.